Hi everyone, it's Deb. Today I'm going to show you how to make some leggings because who doesn't want to make leggings? Who is not living in leggings right now at this time? I first learned how to make these leggings from Cal Patch. Here's her book. It's awesome. You should buy it. I saw an article in the New York Post, page 6, Gossip, that said Carrie Mulligan gives us her tips for going makeup free. So of course I click on it, and what is it? A baseball hat. So we are going to take our measurements and learn how to draft our own pattern, and then we're going to sew it. I sew it on a serger, which I got really cheap on eBay like 15 years ago. But you can just use your regular sewing machine and a zigzag stitch. And here I have some spandex ones. I'm going to show you how to put in cuffs and a waistband. And I even put my own little label in. You can use jersey like for a t-shirt material or spandex. It works great. You need a little stretch, obviously. Let's go start drafting the pattern. You're going to measure your waist from where you want the top of your leggings to sit. I like to wear mine high up like I'm a grandpa, so the length of my leggings are from that point down to my ankle. I took my friend's measurements and put them into this chart. All of my horizontal measurements, my waist, thigh, knee, and ankle, I'm going to subtract 10% from. This is called ease. I'm using spandex and I want it to fit snug. The front and back rise heights are measured from the top of where you want your leggings to sit to the bottom of your crotch. To get the depth of the rise seams, we take our half waist measurement and subtract it from our thigh measurement, both with the ease already subtracted. Then for the front, we multiply it by 1/3, and for the back, we multiply it by 2/3. Before I start drafting my pattern, I tape 2 pieces of oak tag together. I just need something a little longer than the length of leggings I want. Draw a line down the center of my paper that's at least 32 inches long because that's the length I've chosen for my leggings. I draw my ankle in first. It's 7 inches, so I draw a perpendicular line that's 3.5 inches on either side of the center line I drew. I measure 12.5 inches up and draw my knee line, 6.25 inches on either side of the center line. I do the same thing with my thigh line, measuring 9 inches up from my knee and draw a perpendicular line equal to my thigh circumference. Now I just connect those lines before I move on. Now it's time to plot the front and back rise depths. From the right side of the pattern, I make a mark that's equal to my front rise depth, and from the left side of the pattern, I make a mark that's equal to my back rise depth. Now it's time to add my front and back rise heights in. From the line I drew at the front rise depth, I draw up 10.5 inches, which is my front rise height. From the line I drew for my back rise depth, I draw up 11 inches, which is my back rise depth. I draw a line connecting these two, curving up towards the back. This is my waist. I make sure I start out with a perpendicular line. This is called truing up the pattern. I'm going to true up the back also by drawing a new line that's perpendicular to where the curved part met my back rise height. Just add a little curved corner in connecting the pattern. I add a 1/2 inch seam allowance to the outside. I make sure I mark it with whose legging pattern it is, the date, and the instructions to cut to. Then I cut out the pattern. I used my pattern to cut out this camo spandex. This is one leg of my leggings. I'm going to fold it over and clip it in place, and this is going to be the first line I sew. I use a serger, but you can just use your regular sewing machine with a zigzag stitch. The serger trims the seam and encloses the edge of the fabric. Once you've sewn both legs, turn one leg right side out and place it inside the other leg, matching up the seam lines. Clip the rest of the fabric in place and sew the legs, joining them together. Turn the pants right side out and look, we have a pair of leggings. We're going to add a waistband and cuffs. but you can try these on now to see if they fit. The spandex won't unravel, so you don't need to add a cuff if you don't want. But I love the way a cuff and a waistband look. You definitely need to finish the waist in some way to make them stay up. You could just use a piece of elastic and fold over your waistband, but I'm going to use a separate piece of fabric and make a casing. My waistband casing is 27 inches by 5 inches. I came to this measurement by taking my waist measurement minus the ease plus 1 inch for seam allowance. I want it 2 inches wide when finished, so I had to cut the fabric to 5 inches. My cuff is 8 inches by 5 inches, and I got to it the same way I got my waistband. I have to join the casing together, so I take the short side and sew that up. Now it's like I have a giant headband, and I fold it over with the seam on the inside. I start at my seam line and place my first clip. I'm going to add 3 more clips so they're equidistant at 4 different places on my waistband. I do the same thing to the leggings at the waistband, placing 4 clips equidistant around the perimeter. Before I join the casing to the top of the leggings, I'm going to add a fabric label using my regular sewing machine and a zigzag stitch. This part isn't necessary, but sometimes it's hard to know which is the back and which is the front. Before I made these labels, I used to just do a little stitch with another thread color so I knew which was the back. Now I'm ready to join the casing to the top of the leggings. I match the clips at the back of the casing with the clips at the back of the leggings. I take the entire casing and put it over the leggings. Now I just match those 4 clips together. Then I add more clips in between to make it easier to sew. Once it's all clipped, I serge these 2 together. I make sure I start at the back seam in case it doesn't line up correctly. The mistakes will be hidden. Look, here's my waistband. All done. I repeat this process for my cuffs exactly the way I put the waistband in. But like I said before, there's no need to add the cuffs. The bottoms won't fray. Here are the finished pants. I bet you didn't know how easy it was to make a pair of custom-made leggings. Okay, so wasn't that great? You can have your own leggings. So you can, these are my favorites. I love these ones. That's all I've been living in this entire quarantine. My husband said to me, "You're going to need to get used to my chewing." And I said, Look, it's not him. It is 100% me. He says I have misophonia, and I say eusophonia. Whatever, I can't deal with people's noises, their chewing, their breathing. Basically, the quarantine was made for me. I mean, besides him being able to breathe and chew, but you know, obviously I want him to continue to breathe. Just not so loud. Why does everybody have to breathe out loud? Chew out loud? I mean, I don't mind my chewing. And as long as I'm shoveling it in, no one else bothers me. So yeah, I just have to keep eating, which is why I need the leggings. So who knows if my real pants even fit anymore. I don't want to know. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay home. Am I the only one staying home? I am totally the only one staying home. That's it.